So here I am with a shady guy. This is Gordon Birtwhistle here. Now, former Triumph development engineer, and he talked very modestly about this car when I was last with him. And then, after he'd gone, I took it out on the road. This car is quite probably, I would say, the best classic car that I've ever driven, the best sorted and the most surprising car that I've ever driven. It is phenomenal. It's quick, it's sure-footed, it's utterly amazing. You have developed this car to what really it could have been. If this had been available in this trim in the 1970s, they'd still be making it now. This is, my God, this is a good car. So come on, Gordon, you were a bit quiet about it. Tell us a bit more about this thing, because this is no ordinary Triumph 2500.
The thing is that even in its time when it was a new car, the car was never respected for being as good as it actually was.
Yeah.
And if you look at the developments through the years, the basic design of the car is very similar to BMW's up to very recently.
Yeah.
With trailing arm rear suspension, McPherson strut front. The whole thing was pretty good from day one.
Yep, but this thing goes like the clappers. I mean, it is utterly amazing. It's like a modern car.
Yes.
What have you done to it? You
mean,
told me that you put a mild cam in it. That's not a mild cam. When I started this thing up, it was kicking and screaming and spitting back at me. This is a bit special, really, isn't it?
Well, it hadn't recognised you see, that's the thing. But the engine, prior to me buying the car, incidentally, the engine was blueprinted by a Triumph company in London, who no longer exists, sadly, and they put what they called a mild camshaft in it.
Yes.
Because one of the problems with the 2.5 as a production car was always the difficulty in getting the things to idle properly.
Okay.
In fact, one of my jobs was a troubleshooter for serious customers that had problems with the car ticking over.
I see.
And I mean, sort of quite flippantly, one guy I went to see in London said, the only time this car has idled properly was when I turned it over. And he was sat in the middle of a main street in London, and the engine was still ticking over.
There we are.
But that's why you wouldn't have been able to get this engine spec through emissions and the production side of things.
Sure.
Because of it could be temperamental.
I understand. So basically you've kind of gone beyond that. So you've gone beyond what was being dictated to Triumph at the time and turned it into the car that it could be.
It could be, yes. You know, and obviously with modern day electronics you could tolerate this sort of tune.
Yes.
But with the basic injection system that we've got, you'd no external means of smoothing it out.
No, but this thing drives and runs brilliantly now, and I know that when it's warm, it's absolutely on song.
It is very good.
Yeah. So what else have you done to it?
Well, the engine is as the engine is.
Yes.
Precisely blueprinted in a different cam, 6-branch exhaust manifold, and that's what you've got.
Yeah.
And chassis-wise, the biggest improvement has been 7-inch rims.
Yes.
And a more modern tyre.
Yeah.
and I've slightly altered the spring rates to give it a better feeling on the road.
It does feel absolutely amazing.
You know, because it's a car that I was only going to be using myself and maybe one passenger,
Yeah.
not a fortnight's luggage in the boot.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, really, this is the epitome of a sports saloon. It goes like the clappers. It's quick. It's a great drive. It'll eat up the miles and quickly, and it looks utterly superb. I think I'm really pleased that I got to speak to you again, because this is one of the most surprising cars, and I know other people who've driven this and have gone, wow.
Yes.
Check that car out.
Yes.
And I've got to say that if anybody gets the chance to drive this car, they will be very lucky indeed, because it is no less than superb. Not overdone as well. The engine bay is nice and tidy. It's not all polished and everything like that. Not all chintzy. It's a working environment. The whole thing is a great car. So very well done in putting this thing together. It's superb.
It is. It's nice that it is so good a package when you're evaluating it against modern day transport.
Yeah.
Of course, it
Yeah.
was very underrated when it was a new car.
Yes.
And it's good that it can hold its own, you know, with 20th century thinking, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, you could put this up against many a modern day BMW, and it's no disgrace at all.
No.
I would more than happily drive this home tonight if I could. I'd leave my modern up here and take this away.
It could be made possible. It's just a matter of writing a piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah, but then when I turn up at home with this, I'm going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, you'll need its performance to get out of it.
Exactly, that's right. Gordon, thank you for talking to us again. This car is superb. If you want to buy this car, it's available for sale at Manor Park Classics. It's in the auction on the 27th of April. This is the one that you should buy. If ever you've thought of buying one of these big Triumph saloons, this thing is utterly superb. Brilliant.
Thank you
My pleasure.
for having it, should we say.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm astonished by it. It's great.
Good, lovely.
Yeah.